Hey, this is Wakia. I just heard that the government pulled a fast one and they're going to make two Christmases this year, one in January, because they didn't make enough money. Just kidding. Boy, aren't you glad we don't have to go through that again for a while? Of course, there's other things. Now there's New Year's. Anyway, today I'm just reflecting on, wow, I went out the day after Christmas today to do a little shopping. Nobody out, nobody out. And I'm like, wow, is this the apocalypse? It feels good. There wasn't anybody, hardly anybody in the stores or anything. And I'm like, yeah, I could dig. Maybe it's not the day before Christmas. Maybe it's the day after Christmas. Went all through the house. Not a creature was stirring. Because there wasn't too many creatures stirring today. It was like, are they just totally frazzled? I guess it's not the weekend yet. Anyway, and it's the day after Christmas. Perfect day for me. Nobody out, just a few people. Went to the park, went into splatter vision, communed with nature. Just reflecting, I think that this time of year should be used. I mean, we should always reflect, but the best excuse, and I say this after Christmas, the best excuse that people can come up with was, even if you say all the stuff about the commercialism and all that, it feels good to have it over with, don't you? Admit it. But they say, well, it helps us to remember. If we do it once a year, it helps us to remember. Oh, you need help remembering, huh? Okay. You should remember every day upon rising and give thanks that you made it through another night. Be thankful for that. I guess I want to just reflect on all the stuff that's gone down and just say it's amazing that we're approaching another year, 2015. I wonder what is in store. God only knows. But I do have to say one thing about, as I walked out today and looked at the little newsstand with the newspaper on there, it said something like, I just glance at it. But it said something about, that Korean movie thing that I was talking about. Said something about a big blow to freedom of speech because the movie was squelched. And man, talk about twists and turns. I mean, a big blow to freedom of speech. Like, this country hasn't done that already? Hello? And are doing it now, and they're going to say that was a big blow. I mean, does it get silly? Does it get really absurd? Does it get off the deep end? Because that sounds a little off the deep end to me. I don't know where this thing's going. It's like somebody's driving the bus and they don't know where they're going. You know how I say they always do things around the holidays, and I was kind of looking back and I was thinking, well, we expect something like right in the holidays, but if you look at the big picture, it's kind of like when they passed that omnibus, I'll get it out, bill, about attacking Russia or whatever, that stupid bill about more sanctions against Russia and all that. And then they also passed another bill that says they can bail into banks. They did this right as everybody was hyping up for the holidays. So I wonder how many people caught Uh, there's something, the Dodd-Frank bill they put through that allows them to use investors' money in the banks instead of having to have a subsidiary. Hello? They passed that right before Christmas, right during this Christmas, and not anybody paid any attention to it. That's a big one. That's a real big one. That means they can bail in the banks and take all your friggin' money. You don't have any. That's what that was, and that went through right before the holidays. And then the other one was the signing the almost like a declaration of war against Russia. In fact, it could have been that other bill, the first one I mentioned, the Dodd or whatever it is, that could have been included in that. It could have been all one bill, I think. Does that mean that they're not going to still do something here before the New Year's and while everybody's still... I think everybody today, the reason they're burnt out is the reason that people weren't out today, and they're probably hungover and they're with family. I understand that. It's a long weekend, and boy, but it sure feels good to go out and not have to deal with 100,000 people. I mean, the stores were almost vacant. On Christmas Day, I was reflecting on this. On Christmas Day, I opened up my curtain a little and peeked out. Was hoping I'd see some clouds, maybe a little rain. That would be nice. Nice little atmospheric change. We don't need snow, but rain would be. But it was nice today after the rains that we've had. But anyway, I lost my track here. So I looked out the window, and it was like early in the morning on Christmas Day, and even kind of today. I live right downtown, and I'm on the 11th floor, and I can look out on the buildings on one side and the park on the other, kind of. The freeway right beneath me. Anyway, the freeway slowed down to nothing on Christmas morning, and it was like there was no people, and I was like, so I said, okay, well, let's focus on the rest of it. And I looked around, and I saw all these buildings, and it looked like, I had this little vision, this flash of like, the city was vacant. There was nobody there. Civilization had disappeared as far as people and the hustle bustle. And I looked at the buildings, and I just went, man, I suppose I could have reframed it, but it just looked kind of bleak to me. You look out and you see buildings and buildings and buildings, and not trees and ocean. And it looked like, man, what did man create here? What if there was nobody anymore, and that all that stuff was just standing there? I wonder how long it would take for the grass to grow up between the cracks in the sidewalk, and the trees to come back and get all shabby looking instead of cut square like these squares walking around out there. At least they could cut them round or circular. And it just seemed bleak. It seemed deserted. It seemed, what is man trying to prove? All these buildings and cars and freeways, and what is he trying to prove? Why doesn't he go earth friendly? And well, we know the answer to that, I guess. But that's how you'd want to think, right? Go earth friendly. So that's the thoughts that came to my mind. Some other thoughts came to my mind too, about just reflecting on different things that are happening in the world. Have you guys been practicing that samba through life? You know, somebody made a comment. I'm just talking free and easy today. By the way, hello to everybody out there, and you know who you are. I don't have to mention your names anymore. You know who you are. Where was I now? Speaking free and easy. What's flowing into my head right now? Not much. I guess I'm an airhead today. That feels good, kind of. Mushin. I know I was going to talk, the samba thing, yeah. Somebody mentioned that, I don't know, they kind of gave the impression that they couldn't do that. They couldn't get up and dance. And they were too old, or they didn't want to fall down or something. I'm like, okay, then what you do is turn on that bossa nova or turn on that samba or do whatever, the samba, just turn it on and just stand up straight. You don't have to dance, but you can like lean to one side with the music and lean to the other. Shift your weight, right? From one foot to the other, just from one hip to the other. Just shift your weight in time to the music, you know. If the music is that is a samba. That, so just sway. Yeah, I'm crazy. It feels good. Sway with it. Don't even, don't think you gotta like be a whirling dervish or anything. And then the next thing you're gonna find is after you sway, see, that's a yin-yang movement in Tai Chi. When you put your weight on one foot, when you're doing your Tai Chi and you're shifting your weight back and forth and going into these different stances, the shift of the weight from one leg to the other is called emptying one leg and filling the other. Okay, so that's yin and yang, right? Yin and yang. Every time you shift your weight, it's yin or yang, okay? And you think yin and yang when you're shifting your weight, and that balances the energy in you. That's what dance does. And dance just amplifies it, and you get going faster and faster, and you start generating energies. But if you can do that simple, like somebody, if you feel like you're dancing impaired, you're not. Stand up, you walk every day, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Turn on the music. I don't want any friggin' excuses, okay? None whatsoever. Thunder does not take excuses on this. You got to do it. So it's see, so you're just shifting, or you could even slow, right? Just shift your weight back and forth and loosen up your shoulders and let your arms hang free. You don't need to go into like a tribal frenzy, although that might lead you into one. There's no guarantees that it won't. And that's the way I think that we should face this 2015 or whatever's coming up next here. Is less stress, okay, less fear, less guilt, less tapping into the brainwashing machine. The brainwashing machine. The USA laundromat. Step right into the brainwashing machines here and wash your brain. It's only a quarter. Step out of the, if you're going to make a resolution to just step out of the system somehow. or step out of the rut that you're in, or maybe just make a promise to yourself that you're going to be moderate in things. Even, the I Ching says that you have to be moderate in being moderate. That's a good thing too, because sometimes we get real moderate and we go, I can't do that, I gotta rest, and that's good, and you gotta kick back and renew, and that's good. But you do that in moderation too, okay? Everything in moderation means everything, even moderation in moderation. Think about that. But think about being moderate in everything, This should be an interesting lifetime. It has been, yes. This should be an interesting I don't know, future, whatever's coming up. I'm definitely reflecting on it. I just know that there could be a shitstorm a-brewing, just like the old salts say. There's a shitstorm a-brewing. There could be. It's very likely. There is. Let's face facts. It's already brewing, and it's swirling around us. So we have to picture ourselves as navigators and trackers and going into uncharted territory. I think that if I was to do a prognostication, of course it's all uncharted territory, but I'll qualify that, but I'd say that we're cruising into uncharted territory. Coming up soon here. We're cruising into uncharted territory. And so when we do that, it's like the guy that's riding in the Old West, riding on his horse. Is he paying attention to the signs? Is he a good tracker? Does he pay attention even when his horse whinnies? It means something. Or when the horse shakes its head a certain way, it feels something in the wind. Okay. And good trackers and good outdoors people pay attention to animals and see what they're doing. And they get clues from animals. Like the crow that'll squawk in the morning, be on that branch out there, right above your head. Wah, wah. It's telling you something. It's the guardian. It could tell you there's a bad character walking around the neighborhood. So you have to, when you're going into uncharted territory, you have to have that wide-angle vision, that big picture vision, that you have to be relaxed and comfortable because you're riding the horse, and you go with the lope of the horse or the gait of the horse, and you roll with it, right? You roll with it. And you just keep all your senses open, okay? And so when you're in uncharted territory, you see signs of things happening maybe before they're coming, or at least you're ready for them, If a guy was riding in the Old West and he was coming up to a ravine or an outcropping of rocks where the trail got a little tighter and rocks were looming up, then he was aware that this would be a good place for an ambush. Yeah, if I was going to ambush somebody, okay. So you have to be into that mindset of awareness in uncharted territory. The guy up on the butte or somebody appearing from behind a rock, always be ready to, skin that 45. at any time, or be prepared to go into action or take whatever action you need. But until you get there, you just relax. And if you see, that there's a way around that ravine or another trail off to the side that might be a little bit more interesting, take that. You have options. So, reflecting. Just reflect right now on this day on life. Just reflect on life and reflect on. Of course, you should be doing this every day, but the reason I'm saying it today is because the vibe is way, way down. Like there's intense vibes going out from people all the time, but on the days that they're relaxed or like late at night, that vibration level calms down, kind of flattens out a little bit. It's a good time to reflect, good time to pray, good time to do ritual, sing, do a little dance, try to be happy, smile. Compliment people, compliment yourself. Or, you know what you should do? This is what you should do. If there's anything that arises, any kind of obstacle or anything that is troubling to you in life, send love to it. Even a little pain or a little, soreness if you overdid your holiday workout or whatever. That holiday workout. Glug, 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 glug. If you overdid it, or if you overdid anything, or if you just got a little soreness, send love to it. Send love to whatever you perceive as bothering you. Okay. Even the world. Okay. But then the second part of that is send love to yourself for sending love to whatever you sent love to. Send love to yourself because just for the simple fact that you sent love to somebody. So that means you should send love to yourself for doing that. Think about that. Send love to whatever's bothering you, and then send love to yourself for sending love. And that's one of the best things I ever heard from somebody. So you might want to remember that. I'm looking forward to the chess game, being a strategist, and what's coming up. I just I live in the moment, okay, but every time I see something, on some level, I'm putting another piece of the puzzle together on the frantic activities of life. Just the fact that life quiets down like this sometimes, it goes to show you that life doesn't need to be hectic. It doesn't need to be a drill, like a drill sergeant commanding you to go through after this weekend, people are going to be right back into the drill again. I'll allow myself Christmas or Thanksgiving to relax. Or maybe, no, I won't even go there, but people will do anything to relax, okay? Even if it's not good for them, even if they think they got to get drunk or whatever. Just relax anyway and breathe, and try not to look at this time as a time that's just one time of the year because you really don't relax, most people don't, around Christmas, let's face it. You don't relax around most people. To me, it was another day. To me, what this was all about is what I'm talking about right now. You know? I get to watch people calm down because they're all burnt out. They're all burnt out, man. Wait till after New Year's. Man, I wish we could just live in some earth-friendly houses and, put the thought out that we could all live. Oh, I know what I wanted to talk about. One more thing. See, if I keep rambling enough, I remember things to reflect. I was reflecting on the homeless today. Because I've been there before. Might be there again. I don't know. You never know what the future holds in store for you. Hope not at my age, but I was thinking about the homeless people out there right now, and there's two kinds. There's the ones that are just utterly out of it and don't know what's going on. They're just in a daze. Half of them, there's a lot of alcoholics. It's okay. Got to do something to numb the pain. But there's a lot of people out there I noticed out there with bedrolls that kind of have their shit together, and they're making do with what they have. How about sending love to those people? The ones that society has forgotten. Okay? The people that society throws to the side, throws under the bus. Now those people out there, you look at their cheeks and their complexion and it's all ruddy and they're outside all the time. And they really see what's happening. Those people, most of them, when you talk to them, the ones that have their shit together at all, that are got the bedrolls and are camping, they realize already what's, what it's like to look at a society and see the disparity. Okay, bear with me here. The disparity of those who have and those who don't. It's a stark realization to them. I love those people. Okay, I send love to those people today, because at least right now we have a roof over our head, most of us, and we have our own backs, and I guess they have their backs too, but those people really are living like we're supposed to live, really. It's hard to live that way in a culture, though, when you got buildings all around you and you can only go to the park, and it's a wilderness out there, people. So let's think about our fellow man. Let's think about the ones that didn't get, the ones that actually they got spared all the bullshit of Christmas and buying all the gifts and all that. They might have had some churches come down and give them some free meals and some shelter, which is good. It's good. But I notice they're out there in droves, these preachers and ministers and missions and everything around Christmas. But then after that, it's like it backs way off, if you get my drift. It's like they don't put as much attention. See, if I could do anything for mankind, I would build shelters for the homeless. I would make sure that every man, woman, child, all this money they're spending, they could be building low income, tax deductible housing, like Habitat for Humanity on a different level. At least Jimmy Carter had a pretty good idea with that, didn't he? He wasn't all that bad. God. Compare that with what you have now. Look out for your fellow man. Have their back. And just send a lot of love to everything that needs love. And God, I don't think I could end on a better note. So I'll end it there. Just thought I'd make a quick appearance out of the shadows. Wakia, a.k.a. Thunder, reflecting. Adios. Vaya con Dios. Until next time.